Las Vegas, where Lonzo Ball had an up-and-down opening weekend in the NBA Summer League. The most hyped rookie in years was horrible in his debut on Friday, shooting just 2 for 15. But Lonzo came back on Saturday, posting a triple-double and putting on a show with his passing. All right, Lonzo's not going to play tonight. He's being held out, I think, soreness in the groin area or something like that. He's not going to play. The first 2 games, he's already rested.
They already rested. They really are. This is rest.
They're getting ready for the NBA. Listen, I would be apprehensive if I were, because I think the question is, were you encouraged by what you saw in these first 2 games? I would be apprehensive. I think his shot is going to be a problem. I think he's, made 2 of 16 three-pointers. His shooting percentage is not that good. He looked like a tall Rajon Rondo to me. And I don't mean that Rajon Rondo was a very good player and a very effective player on some good Boston teams, but all the hype, I'm a little bit apprehensive about, are we going to see his jersey in the rafters or whatever? I would be apprehensive based off of what I saw these first 2 games.
What I saw was a guy that was learning to play that first game. I think it was one of the few times he's been on the floor where he realized he wasn't the best person on the floor. And because Brandon Ingram looked clearly like the best player out there and what he was doing in that first game. And I think Lonzo was out trying to push and do all these things. All the hype has said he's this great passer. He's doing all these things. He'd go all the way to the rack and try to make this great pass instead of just playing the game. I think that in the next game he came out, and I think, okay, now I'm going to facilitate. I'm going to do what I am accustomed to doing. I'm going to let these other really good ball players around me do their thing. And I think that's more of the guy that you're going to see moving on. I don't think he is going to be that guy that's going to take over a game with his shot.
Rondo.
No, I think he'll be a better scorer, but I don't think he's going to be able to take over the game with his shot. But I think he is going to be so involved in the game that what you saw in that second one, it is going to be more of that, where it's going to be contagious and the other guys will play better.
I get where you're going with Rondo, but here's the difference. Because, they're not going to take over the game scoring. They're great assist guys. But here is the difference. Rondo over-dribbled. And that was a complaint about him from other teammates. Like, he would dribble, so he gets the assist, so somebody else doesn't get it. Stat padding. Whether it's true or not, that's what players said, and he did over-dribble. Lonzo is pushed. The difference between him and most other point guards is he will pass ahead. And guys are going to love playing with him. And the thing is, if he becomes a star, which I think he can, Brandon Ingram's going to be, I think he's going to be a star. Now you got 2 stars, and Ingram doesn't have to worry about competing with Lonzo. Because Lonzo's not trying to outscore him. He's just trying to get Ingram off. That's what he does. And you saw the Lakers making the extra pass, overpassing even. That unselfishness is contagious. So I liked what I saw from him.
I do too. And for me, why it's encouraging to the Lakers is because when you look, and before I continue my statement, I am not comparing him to Magic. But with Magic being right there looking down on him and being in that facility every day with him, we're going to see a Magic-esque Lonzo Ball. Why? He's not I don't care what you look at, he's not a great shooter. In my opinion, it's going to be hard for him to get that shot off the way he releases the ball. He doesn't care about that. Why? Because he's going to push the tempo. Like you mentioned, when they get the rebound, they outlet to him, his first look is all the way down the court. Everybody loves that. Why? Because I know this guy, even though he can be a star, he's going to be unselfish. He's going to get me off before he even tries to get off. The problem that we have with a LeBron James is we know he can score, so it's like, why don't you take over a game? We're never going to wait for Lonzo Ball to take over a game. Why? Because that's not his game. As long as he continues to do what Magic did with Kareem, with all those guys around him, he never had to be that guy. Now, they wanted him to eventually evolve into that guy, and he had to, but early on, he never had to do it.
Chris, answer me this. Riddle me this. He's not playing tonight. Isn't De'Aaron Fox playing tonight?
I'm not sure yet if Fox is, but I'll say this. I think it's more on the team in this case, because I've been to summer leagues in the past where guys, they sit guys out games. Ben Simmons sat out some games.
I see where you're going.
I get where you're
I see where you're going.
Fox gave him 40.
I see where you're going.
Oh, my God.
I knew that.
I don't think
Somebody
DeBron
give you 40?
Look,
And you don't wanna be out
go
there?
to the team and say, I want to play. I get it. And that's what some people I've talked to have said, I don't see that enthusiasm. You know, Magic had that enthusiasm
Absolutely.
when he played. You don't see that with Ball. I think the more apt comparison for Ball is Kidd. He's going to be like Jason Kidd, which is great. That's a Hall of
Jason Kidd,
Fame.
a competitor. Every competitor I
He
know.
wasn't vocal, though.
Somebody
But
give
yeah,
me 40. I'm going back out there and going to try to get him down to about 35 or something.
He probably would. Fox probably would put up much better numbers tonight if they did go against each other. Because Ball's never going to. I think he can settle into being a 17-point, 11 assist guy when he's in his prime, which is great. But he's not going to be that guy to shake you up with the dribble.
No, that's not his
He's
game.
got no. I haven't seen him take one mid-range jumper. I think he's going to have to work on that. I know it's hard with that,
Look. I'm just going to say that. A lot of times I blast off into you guys, but I appreciate you come back every day and you still do the show. Unlike Lonzo Ball here. All right, coming up, we react